grandchild or a great-grandchild of Margaret Wenzel or spouse, we're going to bring you all up here. It's your time. Come on up. To get a picture with grandma. So the grandchildren and great-grandchildren are going to sing Amazing Grace for all of you. And you can imagine what family get-togethers were like the last handful of years. You know, death always comes as a shock, and it doesn't matter how long you've expected it, how well you've rehearsed it in your mind, or how well you prepared for it. It always comes as a shock. It comes too soon, and it draws life up short. But it's a fact. It causes pain. It causes grief. It causes separation. It causes us to feel an emptiness and a heartache inside of us. And it leaves an empty spot and a break in the family circle. And today we're going to grieve and we're going to recall experiences with my grandma. We will feel the pain that death brings, but we'll also celebrate. And I love the fact that the Bible tells us that we have tools that we can turn to in the days ahead as we process my grandmother's life. God's given us some direction in His Word. In the book of Ecclesiastes, He notes that there's a season for everything under heaven. There's a time to remember, a time to weep, a time to heal, a time to be born, and yes, a time to die. So one of those tools that God gives us is our memory. And in these days, it'll be helpful for us to just recall fond memories of time spent with Margaret Wenzel, and open up the memory bank and talk about some of those memories. And we're going to do just that for the next few minutes. And I always think that times of death, and we reflect on life, these are times for us to remember. And we're going to do that through some of our memories. It's a time for us to refocus. Death is a fact, and it's going to come for all of us. Our days are limited. We need to kind of refocus and think, hey, are we using our one and only life to its God-given potential? And then the third thing I want to definitely make sure that we do today is refocus our lives if we need to. So we're going to remember, we're going to reflect, and we're going to refocus a little bit. And we're going to start that by asking Jen Wenzel to come read something for us from Riddle.
My aunt found a letter that was written by Grandma, as some of us call her, Maggie, Gigi, Grandma Margaret. I'll call her Grandma. We think she had written this letter probably approximately 4 to 5 years ago, when her hands were probably gnarled like they have been for years, yet she was still able to write this letter, and it was still legible for the most part. And I just imagined her sitting at her desk writing this, but her 4 pages were just amazing, and just Grandma. And they were just very intimate, what she wrote, and I'd like to read it to you right now. A great idea was writing my own obituary. And as I say that, I got tickly come out. Margaret Eileen McClenaghan was born on a snowy January 25th, 1927 night, in a house on the banks of the Crooked Creek, East Fallowfield Township, to Thomas and Marion Riley McClenaghan. A happy country girl, loved riding horse-drawn kid wagon to East Fallowfield School, and then transportation upgraded to a converted bread wagon with a board on cement block and heater. Sunday, I went to Adamsville Presbyterian Church, sat with my granddad McClenaghan, who put 10 cents in the offering plate. My mother worked very hard, but took time to read the Bible, and she made sure that I had books to read. I was my dad's chore girl. I brought the cows in from the pasture, and I learned to milk the cows by hand. 4-H Club was a marvelous club where I learned to sew, cook, and keep records. When I was a mother, I was a 4-H leader, teaching young girls homemaking skills. That was a joyful passion. My life was blessed by a handsome young man I met at a 4-H ice cream social. He rode a bicycle. It was all he had. After he farmed all day, it was love at first sight. I'm sorry to say that our romance only lasted 54 years. Some ups, some downs, but lots of loving. We were blessed with 4 delightful children, a foster son, 11 grandchildren, and at the time that she wrote this, it was 34 great-grandchildren, but now it's 36 great-grandchildren, all serving Christ in one capacity or another. God blessed me with a peculiar sense of humor. We can all attest to that. And some days I would have drowned in my tears. My greatest joy, marriage to a loving, trustworthy Christian husband, working together in our marriage and home, raising our family in good times and bads, and through some trials. 3 of our children, foster son, 2 grandchildren that made their home with us, all graduated from college. Our number 4 child, our second son, was in the Army engineering construction. Proud and thankful of each of them. One of the first to join all-male Lions Club of Pontiac Valley. And she had all-male underlined. And then she had this next sentence with 1 or 2 exclamation points. Men needed some female help. I have been deceived by someone I trusted. But God says, forgive. I've been hurt to the heart. But God says, love them anyway. Be joyful, be thankful in all circumstances. Pray daily, that is God's will for us. Thankful, Eileen McLennan, Winslow. And of course, she had to do a PS. This is one of my favorites. I love having people in my home for food and fellowship. And then I just wanted to share a few words about Grandma. I often called her Maggie, which she really disliked. I don't know if you guys called her that when you were growing up, but she did not stand that. But it was a term of endearment. And I just wanted to share because Patrick and I grew up with Grandma. She was more, and my grandfather, they were more parents to us throughout the years than grandparents. And she shared so much love and joy and stories about her childhood, about the Depression. The Depression led her to save everything under the sun, including Reader's Digest and all the foam containers that you brought home from the restaurant. And we had to keep everything, which is wonderful. But I remember there's a few things that I wanted to share, and I could go on for days, I think. Grandma loved us so much. I remember her keeping basketball stats at our games, and she just gave me one of her little booklets of all the stats. There was, I think, this is for the girls. At some point, I think I saw Carly's name, I saw Loretta's name, I think I saw Alicia's name and my name. And then plus whatever she did for all the boys, too, for any way of supporting them. If anybody knows Grandma, what did she do when she laughed? What did she do? She snorted. Okay? She would snort when she was laughing, and then because she snorted, she would laugh, and then because she laughed, she snorted, and then she continued to laugh and snort, and so everybody started laughing, and then she snorted more. And that was, I think, one of the funniest things ever, is just remembering her laugh and her chuckle. Lipstick kisses. Maybe ever got a lipstick kiss? And blowing up into the ears. A lot of great-grandkids remember that, and grandkids. She always, and Grandpa always, made our family very special by making us a family and doing family activities together, press style pranks every year, or just a couple. I could go on about those, but one of the ones that we were reminiscing on the other day was our grandchildren pictures that are in the back that will be burned after this service. No, I'm just kidding. Some of those are just relics. But one of the things I really wanted to say about Grandma is everybody knew that she was a prayer warrior and she was an encourager. She was a lover of people. And she grew into one of my most loved and cherished friends. And the legacy that she has given our family, plus, if you want to add family and friends together, we call it family. You guys are family. Okay? The legacy that she's left all of us has been absolutely amazing. And she always believed in joy. And joy meant Jesus first, you put others before you, and then it's you. There was joy. She wanted us all to have joy. And whenever we got home, if you guys remember what she used to say to us, it would be, home again, jiggity jig jig.